Have been trying to get my mother, Frankie, a nameplate for her mausoleum. I said before, she does not have a nameplate on her mausoleum. I figured out that she did not have a nameplate in March because when Auntie BB died, I flew from Texas all the way down to California. And then when we went to the actual burial site, they were going to cremate her. And the lady recognized me and said, "Hey, your mother is here." When I went to go see my mother, I see that she didn't have a nameplate. All she had was a little plastic piece that had the flowers that you could put inside. When I visited in March, I attempted to try and get her a nameplate, but again, I am not on the account. The account holder is Keyshia Cole. We all know me and my brother Sam did not go to the funeral because we were threatened by our sister Elite, and I personally did not want to turn my mother's funeral into a TMZ shade room pose. Number one, uninvited to the funeral because I defended my brother Sam because Elite said that he's not going to be able to come to the funeral for whatever the fuck reason she threw. And I said at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what reason, he's able to come to his funeral because that's his mother. That led to arguments, that led to disagreements, that led to everybody trying to take each other's head off in this group chat to the point to where at the end of the day, no one was trying to get along. They excluded me from everything. Elite excluded me from everything. I wasn't able to go to her funeral. And then even if I did go to her funeral, she said, "You will get checked by niggas." Told me I would be fighting at my mother's funeral. Absolutely the fuck not. Now, before we move forward, I want you to understand that my sister Keyshia Cole is not the problem. Number one, she paid for the funeral. And then today I visited the funeral home and I talked to the man and she paid for the burial. Now, I don't know what funds all of my brothers and sisters decided to get together to give to the funeral because, again, when I was trying to give money during this time, no one was answering and nobody wanted to talk to me nor Sam. I don't know how anything went down. I don't know how funds were allocated and I don't know how many people showed up with money. Again, I was not a part of this process and I removed myself even after I was told, "Hey, we don't want you a part of this." So yes, it's 100% my fault. I should have stayed active and I should have stayed in touch with everybody, even when they did not want to speak to me. I had several conversations with the man at the burial site, and he told me that number one, no one paid for a nameplate. There was not one ordered, and there was never going to be one sent here because no one put that in the notes or no one put any special contracts or contacts in the note. I don't know if anybody even knows that Frankie does not have a nameplate. I just know that there was no nameplate that was ordered when they went and paid for the burial site. If I critically think about this, number one, Keyshia paid for the burial site. And number two, Keyshia paid for the funeral. So why wouldn't Keyshia pay for a nameplate? This is all my speculation because, again, if I'm paying for a funeral and I pay for a burial, I would also pay for a nameplate. But because I have 6 other brothers and sisters, I believe that she passed that opportunity on to someone else. If we go back in history and we remember what happened during the time of the funeral and during the time even a little bit after the funeral, you know, I wasn't in the picture, Sam wasn't in the picture, Tifa wasn't handling anything, and Neffy was living in Atlanta. She flew down for the funeral, but she went back. The only 2 people that were still in California and that could possibly even take care of this was Elite and Robert. Now, when you think about the funeral in itself, Elite has said multiple times she took on all of the responsibilities that other people couldn't. I've said it, Sam has said it, multiple people have said it, and even Elite has said it, that she took on the responsibility of this leader role while handling the funeral. So I personally believe, and this is a speculation, this is what I'm thinking that all of the rest of the funeral plan, specifically the nameplate, were left to Elite. When I first mentioned not being able to go to the funeral and all of the things that disrupted us from being able to go to the funeral, Elite said this.
Why y'all talking about, oh, why your mama don't have a plaque? Ask them niggas how they even know where my mama is buried.
Although Elite was following me for about 8 to 9 months, and although I told in my story time exactly how I knew where Frankie was, which I've said already, she didn't understand how I knew where Frankie was because they did not tell me where she was buried. I was also confused as to why she was so mad because when I mentioned the fact that I didn't go to the funeral, nor did I know where my mother was buried in the beginning, I believe she listened to the first 4 maybe videos. But again, why are you so mad at me that I mentioned that I didn't go to the funeral and that I mentioned anything about the funeral? And then she commented this. Frankie died in 2021. It is now 2026. When I originally mentioned this, it was in 2025. Again, that's still 5 years. At the end of the day, if it took you 6 years to come up with this response, something is wrong. And this made me critically think today about this response. Because once I mentioned that Frankie did not have a nameplate, Elite got pissed. She got hella mad. Which tells me, I feel, and again, this is a speculation, that she was in charge of ordering a nameplate and never did. And that would be whether she got funds for it, whether she said she would fund it, or whether she said it would be taken care of in its entirety on my dime, Neffy's dime, Robert's dime, Sam's, Tifa's, whoever's dime. At the end of the day, it never happened. I mentioned Frankie not having a nameplate. months ago. I mentioned this in April. All of a sudden now it's a problem because it's within my story time and my story time was popular. Now, instead of me explaining to you about the process of these nameplates, I'm going to allow the next videos to explain that for themselves. Yeah, I'm just looking for my mother because she doesn't have a name.
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly which one.
Oh.
Which one? Right here with the butterfly?
Yes.
Yay. How long would it take for the plate to actually get here?
It takes 4 to 6 months.
You said 4 to 6 months?
Yes.
Okay.
It takes about, give us an opportunity to begin doing everything. It takes about 2 to let's just say a month to get the proof correct.
Ooh.
So we want to know what the name you guys would like to have. If you had any letter words of endearment, and how you guys would like it. So all of this is cast.
Ah.
So it's not like it, in general, people do something like what's called this scroll, where they have a scroll, they want to play somebody else in a later time. So being that she is by herself, you would get something like more like this, like that form with the casket.
Okay. And then how much, so nobody has placed.
Go over all the options of what you want. We have the ability to do custom, something like something like this.
Yeah, that because I was looking at those and I was like, oh, and then I seen some are like different colors.
Yes.
So are those through you guys or is that
Yeah.
custom plate through? So, okay, so the custom plates get done here as well.
Yeah, because we are responsible to also make sure that it stays in.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Okay.
the family doesn't typically put it themselves. We will go ahead and cast it and then set a date to do the installment.
Got it. And then how long would a custom plate take? I know I'm asking all these questions. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It takes around the same time as long as we know what's going on. We can just give it to our vendor and they'll go ahead and take care of it for us.
Got it. The same thing that was explained to me months ago when I went in March to talk to the lady and we were trying to talk about Auntie BB, but we actually ended up talking about Frankie and getting her a nameplate. She walked me through the process. She told me the account holder's name and she said I could pay for it, but again, I would have to reach out to the account holder, and if they don't verify the actual name and who I am and my payment, then I won't be able to get my mother a nameplate. This is something that I've already dealt with. All of my family members for being able to give her a funeral, and I love all the friends that showed up and gave her a funeral as well. I am thankful for that because they were there when I wasn't. Tifa, Keyshia, Neffy, Elite, and Robert were there when me and Sam could not be. But it feels like she's forgotten. It feels like she doesn't have a place. And again, we can also say, quote unquote, oh, well, let's keep it private. But Elite already said that she's supposed to have a nameplate. So again, before this year's over, I'm going to make sure my mother has a nameplate and ain't nobody going to stop me.